The Australian government have made it clear, buy a house now or miss out completely. Their recent policy change to immigration has set the scene for property prices to explode. Today, I uncover exactly what's going on, the likely impact, and more importantly, what you can do to take advantage. And remember to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date all things property and finance. And before we look at the government's changes to immigration, let's set the scene and understand what's happening. And from there, we can really understand these changes and what impact it's going to have on the wider property market. Firstly, we can see that there's many builders going broke, and you don't have to look too far. I mean, it's been in the media so much lately. We've got big, huge companies like ProBuild going broke, Condev. We've got Pivotal Home Loans. Pivotal Homes. We've got so many different builders going broke, and fewer builders building properties then has a flow-on effect. Looking at one segment of the market, affordable housings, for example, we can already see that between 2001 and 2016, that the population grew more than 25%, but affordable housing actually shrunk at a rate of 2.5%. And to make matters worse, more than 1 million homes lie empty in Australia. And with the recent 2021 census showing that there was more than 1 million unoccupied dwellings, and this is out of a total of 10 million properties in Australia. Now, I don't know the exact definition of what an unoccupied premises is, but I'd imagine if it's on Airbnb, it'd be considered unoccupied, and it still is a massive problem with many long-term rentals being pushed into the short-term rental market. And right now you're probably thinking, so what? Who cares? A few less builders, there's not much affordable housing, and there's a few homes that aren't being lived in. Well, it all matters because immigration is about to change. And Australia has recently announced that they're planning to increase the number of people that can immigrate each year from 160,000 to 200,000 per annum. And this very fact is concerning a lot of people because there's so many other issues. And Australia is also expecting to go through a housing supply shortage, with the National Housing and Finance Investment Corporation, which is a government committee, having completed a report recently showing that between 2025 and 2032, that Australia will find itself 163,000 homes short of expected demand. And this is an average deficit of 20,000 homes every year until 2032. And the big issues are that, firstly, family dynamics are changing. So once upon a time, you'd have one home for one family. Now you have 2 or maybe even 3 homes for the same family. The second one is more and more homes are opting into short-term rental accommodation rather than long-term, and thereby also contributing to this problem. And finally, you increase the number of people that can immigrate to Australia, and it really creates a recipe for disaster because Australia is already in the middle of a rental crisis. And with only 36,000 vacant homes available, which is about half the amount that was available last year, we can already see that things are starting to unravel. And this push for immigration is really spurred on by Australia's historical low unemployment rate. Essentially, the government's saying that we need more people immigrating to fill jobs because many industries are facing a labor shortage. And thereby, they're hoping that immigration will plug the gaps into roles where Australia is desperate. And in particular, nursing, accounting, and software are big industries that the immigration is really trying to fix and meet demand. And here's the problem. The troubling trend is that most immigrants won't go to regional cities. And instead, more than 87% of Australian immigrants live in a capital city. And this is compared to 62% of Australian-born people. And we can see that they flock to 3 major capital cities: Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. And this is pushing the system to breaking point. Opposition against immigration is saying that this is going to put more and more people in tents and temporary accommodation because Australia doesn't have the facilities. And so this changes everything because property prices are really a combination of supply and demand. And right now we have a massive supply issue with the building industry about to collapse, less homes being built, and more people wanting homes with many changes, not only immigration, but also family dynamics, with more people opting to be single and less people being in a traditional family cohort. We increase the demand for these same properties. We can see the only thing that can change are prices, because if supply and demand aren't changed and put in sync, then the only thing that can change is the value of properties as a direct result of more competition for fewer properties. And in conclusion, without changes to property policy, Australian government have made it clear that you either buy now or miss out completely. Immigrants are the lifeblood of Australia and have really contributed to Australia's growth and prosperity. Immigration really isn't the problem here. More importantly, it's the Australian housing supply. More needs to happen around this, both in terms of supply and affordable housing. Here at Hunter Galloway, we're their home for home buyers. So if you live in Australia and looking for a great mortgage broker, we can help. We service across Australia and don't charge a fee for our service. So hit us up at huntergalloway.com.au or call us on 1300 088 065. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you then.